Hey friends, welcome back to the channel where we talk all things Denver, North Denver to Northern Colorado. And today we are going to talk all things Northglenn Colorado. Northglenn is just north of Denver, so it makes for an easy commute. And we are going to look at schools and restaurants and things to do in Northglenn and the good and bad parts of Northglenn. So stay tuned for that. Before we talk about that, just want you to know that my details are down below. I get calls, texts, emails from people just like you all of the time looking for more information. I am a realtor in this Denver to Northern Colorado area. My name is Haley Bartlett, for those of you that don't know, and I love to help people. So reach out to me. Like and subscribe so you don't miss any videos. All right, let's get on with this tour of everything Northglenn. So we are going to start with where Northglenn is located, just in case you don't know. So Northglenn is this little pocket, and you can see it's an odd little shape. It's got some little kickouts here and there, but it is surrounded by Thornton on this side and Federal Heights, Westminster on this side. So Northglenn, like I mentioned at the beginning, is super close to downtown Denver. So here you have Union Station, and then you go into downtown Denver. It's about a 15 to 25 minute drive depending on traffic. So in winter, you may need a little more room to get into downtown if that's where you work. And then we can take these roads easily out to DIA. So as you can see, the Denver airport is out here. You can take 25, which is the corridor between the split sides of Northglenn, up to 36, and then get out to Boulder and Interlochen and those areas. If you need to commute there every day, you can continue on 25 up into Fort Collins and into Wyoming. As you can see, it is a super central location. So Northglenn population with the 2020 census was 38,131. It is a smaller area, so there are a lot of neighborhoods kind of that are close together. There's not a lot of spare land there, so you couldn't, go buy an acreage in Northglenn, but location-wise, you can't beat it. So now that we looked at the location of Northglenn, let's check out some of the restaurants. Things to know about Northglenn is these restaurants are mostly along 25. There's not a whole lot of individual type restaurants, and that, locally owned restaurants, and that runs true for the areas around it too, Thornton, Westminster. So if you like, those small business type places and you want to be within walking distance of them, Northglenn might not be for you. If you don't mind having all of the places like Panera and Cracker Barrel and those kind of things, then maybe Northglenn is for you. So let's just take a quick look at some of the things. So we have Cracker Barrel on this side of 25. Of course, Cracker Barrel is always sitting on the interstate. I love a good biscuits and gravy at Cracker Barrel, I'm not going to lie. You have another breakfast place over here, First Watch. You also have Panera over here on this side. It is right here. Tzatziki's Mediterranean, another spot I don't mind eating at. Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, they have a bar on the roof. Longhorn Steakhouse. Parry's is a great place if you like different beers. They have a lot on tap. Good pizza. They also have a rooftop patio for the nicer weather. You have Mexican right here. And then if we go kind of along this strip, and Thornton hits right about here. I have another video on Thornton, so look for that link if you're looking to moving to Thornton. We have Outback Steakhouse, which, look, I'm an Aussie, so I'm going to tell you Outback Steakhouse is not real Australian food, just in case you didn't know that. Another Mexican here, and I am going to point out Satire Brewing Company. That is a great place to hang out. Nice weather. They have a patio along the little, what is it? I don't know. I was going to call it a canal, but it's not really a canal, but a little waterway through here. It's nice to sit out there, listen to the birds, listen to the water. And then the inside is nice as well. And they also have a spirits bar if you're more into spirits than beer. But it is a fun place to hang out. And then a little bit more over here before you hit Westminster, there's an Italian restaurant, your Dairy Queen. So you have some options there in Northglenn, not a whole lot of original options, but this is going to be your main eating area. And then, of course, you're surrounded by Thornton, Westminster, Broomfield, and then very easy to get into Denver for all those restaurant goodies. Now, if you have kids that need to go to school, let's check out your school options in Northglenn. There are quite a few of them. All right, those school options in Northglenn, and most of, if not all of Northglenn is in the Adams 12 5-star school district. So you can check out ratings on the school district at greatschools.com. I cannot advise you whether schools are good or bad. I can tell you that my son did go to school, elementary school in Northglenn, and we had a good experience because we lived in that area when he was in elementary. So just check out like school ratings for those ratings on each school. So let's look at some of the elementary schools. You have Leroy Elementary School. That is the one that my son went to. And that was a few years ago now because he's getting ready to graduate high school next year. Westview Elementary School, Malley Drive Elementary School, Waiko Drive Elementary. As you can see, you have quite a few options. Stookie, Holston, which is a K-8 option school. Over here, we have Westview Elementary School, and then Northmore Elementary down here. And with Adams 12, let's talk about the school options that you have other than kind of these we're pointing out, and then I'll go back and show you the middle and high school and some other options. Adams 12 lets you opt into what open schools. So there's certain schools that they hold open and they have a certain amount of places. So you can opt into those. You usually have to do that by the deadline, which is in early January, to get a place for the next school season. So if you don't like your neighborhood school, you can opt into a different school as long as they are open. Now, if you go a little further north, you go into St. Vrain, and they are completely open and you can opt into any school as long as there's spaces. But with Adams 12, they just open certain schools. And of course, it's going to depend on how many kids they have in attendance at each school as to whether they open it or not. All right, back to your different options. So STEM, obviously, it's a STEM school. So science, technology, engineering, math. So if you have a child that is more geared to that, that is a great option that you might want to explore. Independence Academy is a independent high school. Westgate Community School, this is a gifted and talented school. So there's Westgate here, and then Thornton has Stargate if you're looking for another gifted and talented option and it's not too far from Northglenn. You do have to test into those schools. So your kid has to go through the testing and get a certain score to be able to get into those schools. And then I actually think these are Thornton, but they're close enough. And then as our middle school and high school options, you have Northglenn Middle School here. And then the high school is on this side of Northglenn. So they're on completely different sides, which makes it hard to pick a neighborhood where your kids will be able to walk to middle and high school because they're across 25, the interstate from one another. So that will be tricky, but there is busing. And then, of course, they get to a certain age where they can drive. And then another great option is the Studio School, which is another charter school, and they offer different types of learning. So that is definitely a great thing about this area. There are so many school options. You know, you have schools open schools you can try and get into. You have the specialized schools that are looking at STEM or gifted and talented. You have the schools that are charter schools. So they aren't really under the umbrella of Adams 12. They're kind of independent. So they have their own calendars, school calendars. And talking about school calendars, Adams 12 is 5 days a week because we have Brighton 27J, which is 4 days a week. Adams 12 is 5 days a week, but they did just change their calendar and they now have more week or 4 day breaks, week breaks throughout the year rather than having big chunks. So that's another thing to consider, is to look at the school calendars to see what's going to work best for you. Plenty of school options. You can find the Adams 12 website, check out the schools, or you can do this, pull up Google Maps, look at all your school options, and then go from there. And don't forget to check out Great Schools for the ratings. Let's take a look at parks now and things to do in Northglenn. Okay, so things to do in Northglenn, and because it is such a smaller space, there's not a whole lot to do. There are some really fun things that people will come into Northglenn for, but most of those other surrounding things are going to be in Thornton, which I have that video, Westminster, which I'm working on that video, Broomfield, or driving into Denver to do things like the zoo and the Children's Museum, the aquarium, things like that. And it's a short drive, luckily. But let's just take a look at the few things. So Boondocks Food and Fun at Northglenn is one of the favorites in the area. So as you can see here, they have go-karts, they have mini golf. Inside they have the arcade and laser tag. There's the restaurant, which I don't know, the food is not that great. But it is a fun spot and people love it, and you can have birthday parties there in summer. You can do stuff like this. So that is definitely a fun option. And then right near Boondocks, sorry, sometimes it goes crazy, you have E.B. Rains Park, which is a large park. They have a pond, they have a playground, they have a splash pad in the summer. They also have pedal boats in the summer. They have a pirate festival there each year, and we'll get to like the events that Northglenn hold, because for such a small area, they do have some fun events. But as you can see here, there is quite a lot to do in this one park, and it is kind of the central area there in Northglenn. And then right across from that park is the Northglenn Rec Centre. So just pulling it up, on this side of 25, you have your Northglenn Rec Centre, which has a pool and lots of kind of recreational activities. And they have been building that up over the years. So they've made some changes recently that are great, gives more options of fun things to do. Over here, we have puzzle effect escape rooms, if you like escape room kind of things. And then it is Westminster, but on this side of 25, you have Skate City in Westminster. So that's old style skating rink, and people do love to kind of hang out there. And then you have a few neighborhood parks dotted throughout the area. And I will say that that is a great thing about all these areas. Thornton, Northglenn, Westminster, Broomfield, there's plenty of parks within neighborhoods, plenty of playgrounds. And then you have the bigger ones like E.B. Rains that you can go and enjoy events at. And let's check out now what events they hold at Northglenn Rec Centre and E.B. Rains Park. So when it comes to those events, we have some of the bigger ones and then some smaller events throughout. So Farmers Highline Canal Cleanup, they have each year, March 23rd. So there is a Highline canal. People get together and go clean it up, which is great. Derby Day is a fishing competition, I believe. Yes. Okay, so that one is the fishing derby, and they also have a bike derby. So that's fun. You can get your bike dressed up, and then they have a bike clinic as well, and then awards ceremony for dressing up your bike. So that's a fun event. Food Truck Carnival, this one is very popular. This one attracts a lot of people. They just have different food trucks that come in. It's usually in May, and then they have carnival rides and things like that at the Food Truck Carnival. So yeah, they have that slated for May 17th to 19th. Festival Lawn Event. I haven't heard of this one before. Come celebrate Northglenn Pride. Okay, so it is LGBTQ plus performers and artists. Oh, what a great idea. And they have booths, food, and some educational aspects. I feel like this must be new for this year because I haven't seen that one before. So that will be fun. I guess that's for Pride. And then 4th of July event, which they have every year. And they have a band or a couple of bands and car show awards, concerts, the duck race. That's right. Northglenn has the duck race on the 4th of July. And then you can go out on the pedal boats, and then they have fireworks at night. So that is another fun one. Neighborhood nights is movies or bands, so they kind of rotate through what they do on those, and they have different dates. And if you follow me on my social media pages, I will put those dates up in the summer of the movies and things like that so that you can easily track them. So here's some of the other things that they have. As you can see, there are a lot of events. Teddy Bears Picnic, the lawn event, the summer concert series on the festival lawn, and that's at E.B. Rains Park. I just nearly said J.B. Rains. Summer movie series, dumpster days, their neighborhood nights, national night out, dancing through the decades, a shred event, waffle ball tournament. So as you can see, there's a lot going on. And there's that Pirate Fest, which is super fun. People make boats to go out on pirate boats to go out on the lake. It's just a pirate themed event. So there is a lot that goes on in Northglenn, especially for a smaller area. So plenty of fun things to do throughout the year. And then of course you can join in on those Thornton, Westminster kind of things as well. Let's talk, since I am a realtor, let's talk real estate. Let's take a look at some of the homes that are for sale right now and then what has sold in Northglenn, just to give you an idea of what you are looking at if you are looking to move to Northglenn. So before we move on from things to do, I actually forgot something. So I am coming back to talk about this area and add it in. So this area on the west side of Northglenn on 104th is a shopping restaurant area. But what I want to highlight is Pro's Brewing Company because they just opened in the area. I've been there twice now. I was there on Saturday because German food. Who doesn't love German food? Well, I do anyway. And they have German food, German style beer. It is a big beer hall type environment. As you can see, kind of long tables. It is a really cool space. It's going to be fun in summer. That outdoor area will be amazing. You can bring dogs to the outside area. You can't take them in, unfortunately, but they do serve food, and then they have German beers and then sometimes some other beers on tap as well. They also have some mixed drinks and a wine and then soda, and my son loves the lemonade there if you're not looking for alcohol. So I wanted to make sure I looped back on that because I totally kind of forgot about it, even though it was just there. And then you have Cinzetti's, which is a big Italian buffet all you can eat style restaurant. So that's a cool place as well. and then you have Lowe's and some other restaurants and things in this area. And then this little European market, how did I forget, also has some gems. If you love European cookies and chocolate and things like that, that little place is a great place to go. So I just wanted to make sure I looped back and added this in. Okay, so let's look at real estate in Northglenn. And as of January 2024, we have 30 homes for sale in Northglenn. This one is the most expensive house, listed at $750, 2,698 square feet. And it has been on the market for 136 days. So to me, that says that it is overpriced. So it is on the west side of 25. And then let's take a look at the house. They've done some work to the outside, hardwood floors, tile in the kitchen, granite countertops, stainless steel appliances. You have a deck. Looks like a concrete pad. And then rooms down in the basement, which you could probably use for multi-generational living if you wanted to. So that could be a good situation. But I would say from days on market, it's definitely overpriced. And it is just under, it looks like around 1/4 of an acre for land. So let's look at something like here. So these are brand new duplexes, townhouses in Northglenn. They are in a little funny area because it goes Thornton and then back to Northglenn. But they are close to Eastlake. They are very close to Target and the shopping area right here. And this one is listed at $539,950, 1,438 square feet, and they are brand new. These that they're building here in Carl's Farm are quite skinny. They're kind of like almost like row house style. So if that doesn't suit you in how you live, then you may want to look at other options. But if you are looking for like a new build row house or a new build townhouse, then these can be a great option, and they are in an okay spot. It does get kind of busy in that area traffic wise. When I drive back into Thornton and Northglenn, those are definitely some of the busy areas. And then let's go look at the cheapest thing that is on the market right now, which is a townhouse. It is back over there by EB Rains Park. And I'll show you on the map so you get an idea. So this is the EB Rains Park, and then it's right here. And then you have boondocks and those things I was talking about in that area. I mean, it's a great area to be in for kind of walking and being able to get to places easily. So this is a 1,530 square foot townhouse total, but only 900 of that is finished. It is an end unit, which is always nice when you're looking at townhouses. So it needs some paint, unless you like purple, which is fine, that's your choice, but it could do with some new paint for sure. But that gives you an idea of the most affordable thing right now in Northglenn. So let's look at what has actually sold in the past 90 days. And this will give you a better indicator of where things are price-wise, you know, rather than things that have sat on the market for a long time. Okay, so properties that have closed in the past 90 days. Let's look at the most expensive. So it closed at $599,900, and let's look at where it is on the map to give you an idea. So it is on the west side of 25 here in Northglenn, close to Northglenn High, which is right here. And then I totally forgot this shopping center here in Northglenn in things to do. So I'm going to go back I'll add that back on to things to do because we need to talk about that. And I forgot it. But it is located here in 5999, 2,774 square feet. And it was on a lot that was just over a quarter of an acre. So you can see there hasn't been like a whole lot of updates in this house. Gives you a good idea of what you can get for your money living this close to Denver. You're going to get less for your money than if you go further north into towns like Frederick and Firestone, Dacono. It does have a little bar area down here in the basement. And a very nice backyard, which I would say is part of the pricing on that one. So that's our most expensive. And then let's go to the least expensive. So this one is sold for $366,000. It is not on the west side for a change. It is on the east, it's kind of northeast of Northglenn, moving into a Thornton area. It's a little brick ranch. We do have some kind of original brick ranch streets in Northglenn. It's just full of these brick ranches. So this one sold for $366,000. 1,360 square feet finished, 3 bed, 2 bath, and it's on 0.18 acres. And it is cute. That would make a cute starter home. And that's what you're looking for starter home prices here or more than this in this Northglenn area. So as you can see, it's not super cheap, especially if you are coming from, areas that are much more affordable than the Denver area. But like I mentioned, the closer you are to Denver, the more you are going to pay for a home. So you pay for having that luxury of not having to go too far on 25, which the traffic can be horrific. I feel like it's worse on the weekends right now than it is on weekdays. But you're paying for that convenience. So I hope that kind of helps give you an idea of real estate in the Northglenn area. If you have questions about real estate, contact me. It's kind of my specialty, and I'm always happy to answer them. Let's go look at the last thing, which is public transport here in Northglenn. All right, public transport in Northglenn. You can get to Denver by bus, or you can take the light rail. And this is one of the light rail stations right here. There are a few light rail stations spotted throughout. Most of them are in Thornton, but they are close enough to Northglenn that you can definitely enjoy that advantage. And I say it's an advantage because when we lived in this area, we did for quite a while. We lived in Thornton, Northglenn area. We didn't have the light rail yet. So now you can jump on the light rail and it will take you down into Denver. And then from there, if you wanted to go out to the airport, you have to go into Denver first to Union Station, and then the light rail takes you out to the airport if you want to do that rather than leaving your car at the airport when you're traveling. And then there is also across 25 off 100 and no, it's 104th where the Cracker Barrel is, the 120th. Oh my gosh, I'm getting confused. My apologies. 120th, there is a bus station right here that will also take you into Denver and surrounding areas. So those are your public transport options. I do feel like Denver and those surrounding areas are lacking in public transport options compared to other big cities that I visited. But having that light rail is super handy, especially if you are going into cause to go to a baseball game, or you're going to a football game, or you just want to go into Denver for the day. It is much easier to just park at one of these light rail stations, take the light rail in, and then you don't have to worry about parking, which can be a bit hectic in Denver or expensive in Denver. So take the light rail for sure. Even if you work in downtown, light rail is going to be a great option. Otherwise, you have that bus station to get into other areas. And then, of course, we are very car driven here in the Denver and surrounding areas, unfortunately. So 25 is going to be your best option with the car to go back and forwards. So if you made it to the end of this video on all things Northglenn, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss a video. As soon as a video is uploaded, you will see the notification. So don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you need help with Northglenn, Denver, any of these north surrounding areas, please reach out to me. My contact information is down below. Like I said, email, text, calls from people just like you every day, and I love to help. Thanks so much for watching. I'll be back with another video soon. Haley Bartlett, I Go Realty. Have a great day. See ya.